So today we have another exciting expert on our show. His name is Mitch Carson. He is known by the media as the instant celebrity maker. Mitch, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here today. I'm excited to share with you and your audience, your listeners, and give them an enriching experience, which I know they'll be able to take away after today's call. Well, here's an example. A well-known speaker friend of mine that I was able to guide in the speaking business some 17 years ago worked with me closely for about 3 years. We're still friends today, and he conducts his own trainings. And I'll tell countless stories about this. His name is Joel Bauer. He's spoken quite a few times in Malaysia and throughout the Middle East. And well, brought him once to the Middle East, but throughout Australia, the US, the UK. I mean, he's a well-known speaker trainer out there today. He was a magician when he came to me, when he found me. And I saw something in him that he states very specifically, and it's all on record. He'll say it today because he knows it's true. I saw something in him he didn't see in himself. I saw an unpolished gem. Joel is a brilliant speaker, a brilliant strategist. He's great at what he does. I give him all the credit in the world for what he's been able to accomplish. I was simply the guide. I was able to identify this man's skill sets. He's one case study. Then there's another lady named Melissa Hull, who was a housewife whose kids got to be old enough to where she was able to fulfill her passion. She started her own TV show, and she has millions of followers today. Millions. She was able to create her own brand. There are a whole lot of clients like this that I've been able to work with, and I would say the media is one component, but what happens is, yes, we're able to find that gem inside somebody, buff them, use a rag, rub it on, make them shine, and then when they get in front of the camera, when the red light goes on and says on air, they shine. The best them comes out. And let me share with you another human story that happened. Made me tear up, and that is not easy. A lady named Donna Marie Leno recently attended in January of 2019 my Speak in Manila event. There were 20 international speakers in attendance. She had never been on TV, and I guarantee 2 TV stations, 2 interviews by 2 different networks. She then was interviewed on the radio, live radio, in Manila, which broadcasts throughout the Philippines, population 107 million people. She was then recorded on a podcast. She was then part of a press conference where 9 print publications came and interviewed her. One by one, all of the speakers were interviewed by the press. When she had conducted on the second to final day, her TV interview, which is day 3, the big network, ABS-CBN in the Philippines, the largest network, which is global for the Filipino people. She called her mother, who was 96 years old. Now remember, Donna Marie is not young. She's 64, recently retired from her job as a pediatric nurse. Called her 96-year-old mother in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. And said, "Mom, I was just interviewed on TV here in Manila. For the first time in her life, her mother said to her," let me get ready. Her mother said to her, "Donna Marie, I never thought you'd amount to much, but I'm proud of you today." It's almost a backhanded comment, but it was a compliment. And it brought her to tears to hear this. Her mother had never complimented her. She got it when the lady was 96 years old and she was 64 herself. 64 years walking the planet, and what are we after? The respect, admiration, and acknowledgement from the person that's the most important in our life, our mother. Our mother, maybe our father, but the mother is the one that births us. And if they don't approve of what you've done, it's a sad deal. But she finally got it. And when that happened to me, when it happened to her, and I was able to experience this with Donna Marie, I welled up and said, "Mitch, I'm doing the right thing. Because not only am I giving them the assets of the media that they would have to pay
Yeah.
$40,000, $50,000, $100,000 for in the US for sure to get all this kind of coverage.
Yeah.
And they invest a fraction of that, and it's all done in 4 days. The transformation, the internal transformation, the spiritual transformation, the believe in self is faster than any self-help program by a big 7-foot man jumping up and down,
Yes.
and there's real value out of this. And I couldn't put words to it.
Yeah.
It affected me and everybody else that heard the story. We were all welled up, at least at minimum, with our eyes. I mean, we love this lady, and she's 64, still looking forward with her career, moving forward, not looking at the past, looking forward. Young-minded thinkers think forward, not in the past. And she got this acknowledgement of her mother, because you never know, her days could be numbered. And the mother acknowledged her for the first time in her life for her life. That was valuable. So we were able to identify her message, gave her all the media assets she wanted, and then the belief in herself today is incredible. There's the transformation. The actual payoff for me is seeing others transform in front of my eyes.
Wow.
See, that's the powerful piece. That's why I do what I do, because if I truly was in this just for money in life, I'd be back in Los Angeles running an ad agency where I made multiple 7 figures per year. Multiple 7 figures per year. I make significantly less than that. But the gratification, that was just a money game for me. The gratification that I'm able to see transforming lives with what I do today, how do you put money on that? You know, a dollar value cannot be assigned, because I'm able to affect change in others. And the spillover effect is incredible. So I'm most excited about those types of examples, rather than just, okay, I created a guru, you know, Joel Bauer, I created Melissa Hull, or I was let's just say the spark behind their growth. They are responsible for their own creation.
Yes.
I do not take that credit. I am only responsible for buffing them and sending them in a direction. Joel is an extremely hard worker. Melissa is an extremely hard worker. Their credit is theirs. I was merely the one that pointed their rudder in the right direction.
Yes.
So I had to clarify that, because I don't want to take their credit. They earned their results. You had mentors yourself as a martial artist, but you did the work.
Yes.
You had the bruised forearms and the bruised shins and, you know, the pops in the mouth. We've all had that. It's just, that's just part of the game. They didn't do that for you, but they certainly showed you how to evade and get there in a better way. And that's all I was an instructor.
Yes. Even then, in terms of the beginning, the starting point, even let's say for someone like myself, or let's say a new client of yours, they just feel that, okay, I have this message, and maybe they have a business, maybe they don't have a business, whatever it is, they are at the early stages of their career, and they want to start something, right? And they want to have that media coverage. They want to be known. Their end goal is basically to become positioned as an expert, a celebrity in their niche, but they don't know how to start. They're brand new, they're white belt, and they come to you and they say, Mitch, can you help me? What would you say to them?
Yes, I've got a 100% success rate. And here's what's also the truth. What if they say to me, this is a question that gets thrown at me all the time, I'm not sure about what I want to do.
Yeah.
Can you help me find that? Yes. And guess what? You may want to change later, but nobody can take the media away from you. Here's another example you can relate to. You're of Chinese origin. I'm going to make a judgment based on your background. Chinese parents love to push education on their children. Yeah. It's almost cultural. And it's a good, I'm giving you a positive cultural bias and observation of what I know. I'm not Chinese myself, just look at me. But I know this from all the people, that's your heritage, and you guys push education. Yeah. And that is a great direction. I'm going to use that as a metaphor here. It's a great direction, because nobody can take away your university degree. Let's say, for lack of not knowing what your education was at university. Most Asian families from America, and I'm going to my experience, I don't know about Singapore, I'm new to Singapore. Most would push their children to be lawyers or doctors or engineers.
Yeah.
So like the big three.
Yeah.
Become a lawyer, become a doctor, become an engineer.
Yeah.
Or an architect, maybe number 4.
Yeah.
Because they're solid, high income earning professions. High income earning professions. And if somebody says, well, I may want to be a doctor later, but I'm studying engineering, and I would say, fine. When you walk into my program and you think you want to be a speaker on health, some type of diet that you have figured out, the Wizang or what's the latest diet, or kinesis, or the high protein diet that's out there, ketosis.
Yeah.
The ketosis diet. I'll say great, because it doesn't matter. Even if you shift, and we get you media talking about ketosis, we get you on the radio talking about ketosis, television, you're in the newspapers, guess what? They can never take that away. Now let's go back to the piece about education. Did you study to be an architect, an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then I broke the stereotype. That's the stereotype in the U.S. What did you study, just out of curiosity?
Business management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's still a solid career. It wasn't art.
Was
You
it
get my
art?
point?
Yeah.
No, it was not art. It wasn't acting or drama. Your parents probably would have been crazy if you said, I want to be an actor. Oh my gosh, that's like, those are bad words to parents.
Yeah.
Study business management. Okay, so there's the 5th. It's a practical, good, usable career. Maybe to get into banking, investment banking, something.
Exactly. Yes.
All good income earning professions. Now, look what you're doing today. All of those skills that you learned as a business management student and graduate, you can apply to your career today. My undergraduate degree was in communication. I later went on and got a master's in business administration, which was more technical than communication. But the communication got me to speak, explain my thoughts, deliver presentations, communicate with people, understanding nonverbal communications, all the things that I do today. I didn't know that I'd become a professional speaker and trainer and doing what I did today, but I'm able to apply those skills, and nobody can take away my college degree. Similar, if you get press on being a diet health expert, let's say a health expert, and then you decide to transition into another career and continue to get press, no one will take away the press that you got from before. You're still an expert.
Yes.
And on your website, if they see this, are they ever going to read all your articles?
No.
A small percentage will read them, a very small percentage.
Yes.
I'm going to show you an example. This came out 2 weeks ago. This is Money Sense magazine, just produced or published in the Philippines. This is on newsstands right now. It's the January through March issue, and it covers all the things that happened during those months, and then they'll come out with another issue later. My group is right here. These are all the people that were on my Speak. You see them? There are 20 people there in my Speak in Manila event. So this is the magazine, and I have a full-page article. It says, Speak in Manila, foreign business experts led by Mitch Carson showed why public speaking is critical to business success. Well, they all spoke about there, and Lady Dawn Marie Leno is right here in the front row. Next to her is an 86-year-old woman from the Philippines who's the founder of Toastmasters in Asia, named Baby Luad. So I had some really great people. I had as young as 26 attend, and I had a few senior citizens, a couple from Japan also that were up there. So this is Money Sense magazine. This came out 2 weeks ago, covering them. They can show this, put it in the lobby of their offices, and show that they were in this magazine. It's irrefutable proof. Is anybody going to read the content of the article? Maybe if they're bored.
Yeah.
But more than like only your parents, your family, maybe your spouse will read it. Will your clients and prospects read it? Probably not, because you were already proven to be the expert.
Yes.
Here's the reality. They're not going to read it. They just aren't. And you can't take offense to it. Here's another article that was in Business Tech, which came out December 21st. This is before my event, in the Manila Bulletin newspaper, one of the largest newspapers in the Philippines. It was great coverage. And now here in Cebu, Philippines, which was a part 2 of my event, the Sunstar newspaper wrote a full article on me. Full page article. Front page of the business section. This is known as the Cebu Sunstar magazine. Cebu Sunstar. Here it is. Cebu Sunstar newspaper. And that was a full page article written about me. Am I going to use this in my marketing? You betcha. It's credibility. It is irrefutable proof that I am who I say I am. Here's another article in when is this? This is Business Mirror. Another article was written about me. I've got 18 of these from just December and January written about me from the Philippines, because I brought this big group and I was covered in the press, and I was also on 1, 2, 3, 4 TV channels. 4 covered me. 1 in Cebu, 3 in Manila, about the event, because they were so intrigued by what I was doing, because I had Filipinos and foreigners come speak at my event. So that's how I separate myself as an event promoter. I embrace the media. You know, and I'm able to leverage that well by using newspapers. Those are just the newspapers. And we've certainly got TV that I could show people also.
Yes. And going back to our Samuel Wu example, I mean, he is symbolic of the very traditional person that's sitting at home, not showing his face at all, while compare that to the example that you showed me. You're on newspapers, you're on magazines, you're on radio, you're on interviews. Instantly, you can't compare anymore, because he's hiding at his dojo while you are showing up everywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing your face, and there's no comparison. It's like there's this halo around you.
Correct.
Because you are just,
irrefutable proof.
Wonderful. So this has been an incredibly enjoyable conversation. I learned so much in this hour just by speaking with you, talking about your understanding of what makes a person an expert, how do you differentiate yourself, and most importantly, your philosophy of the art of selling without selling.
Great. Well, so thank you for the great time together, and I do appreciate it, Sean. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, I look forward to having you on the show again sometime in the future. Until then, it has been a great experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person very shortly, Mitch.
Great. Thanks, man.
Wonderful. Have a great day.